Welcome to the E-Commerce Alley podcast, where we believe that great brands are built on passionate leadership, smart operations, and of course, powerful marketing. I'm your host, Josh Coffey, and with me today, I have my business partner, Maya Nider. Now, Maya and I have actually been working together for almost a decade, and so what we're gonna be talking about today is we're gonna be diving into, over this decade, the only two strategies we've learned an e-commerce brand needs to implement in order to become an actual 7-figure brand. So listen up, this is going to get deep. All right, Maya, we are on again. And what I'm just gonna really quickly preface is that anybody listening right now, apparently there is like a massive storm that is not only hitting us in Ohio, but is hitting Maya where she's at in Montenegro. So if you hear wind whistling, thunder, or a storm knocking down our whole studio, that's probably it. So just kind of push through it and just know it's not a technical issue. It is a storm issue, which leads me to
it's the 100% show must go on kind of situation, right?
It is. We literally decided we're pushing through because everybody listening is worth it. You are all worth what we're about to talk about today, because today is really, really impactful. It's one of those things it's a high impact on your business, and it will take less resources than you're probably even utilizing right now in your marketing. So it's a double win: more impact, less resource. And so that said, speaking of storms, if you're not doing these, you need to be doing them, because a storm is coming. And if you don't focus your marketing efforts, if you don't really hone in on things, especially these two things we're going to talk about, you're going to find yourself really burned out. You're going to find yourself not knowing what to optimize next, what to work on next. And you'll just start to like plateau, is what I would probably say, because like we see this happen all the time. We do a ton of coaching with e-commerce brands. We have a Facebook group that just passed its 1,000 mark, I think, today, in people in the E-Commerce Alley group, which is super exciting. So we have now more than 1,000 e-commerce business leaders. We do live workshops, all kinds of things. If you aren't part of that, by the way, go do it. It's free. alleypodcast.com/group, and it'll just redirect you to the Facebook group, so you can join that. But anyway, Maya, how about, let's go ahead. Let's introduce you to everybody, so everybody knows kind of who you are, a little bit about you, and then also what your role is in the E-Commerce Alley brand.
Yeah, so I am one of our co-founders. Like Josh said, together we're in this for almost a decade now, which is incredible to think about. Like, I can't believe we're in this for that long. I am on the side of strategy and email, so that's my passion. I just love everything about it, the messaging, the automation, everything we can do to generate money on demand and on autopilot. Like, I'm in. So I'm really excited about this topic today, because I think, Josh, you touched on some points of like the storm is coming and here's what's going to happen if you don't focus on these two. Honestly, the biggest thing I've seen is just such feeling of like people being overwhelmed and burnt out. And it all goes back to the exact same mistake that we have been doing for a while. And then it's kind of, there was a wake up call, and it was like, here are the two things you need to do to really grow, to really scale. And these are the only two things you need to do, no matter what the rest of the internet is telling you.
Yeah, I would agree with that sentiment. Like I met a few days ago with two ladies from an amazing like box subscription brand. And as I met with them, I asked both of them like how much time they were investing. They're the two owners, and it's just them. And they had one of them, their daughter was helping do some stuff, and they had outsourced to an agency as well to help with some things, which that's a whole other topic. We'll talk about outsourcing to agencies as well, and when to outsource is another kind of piece. But I was talking to them 2 days ago or 3 days ago, and I asked them, I always like to ask the question, like how many hours do you spend a week doing your marketing, and then kind of bullet point what that is. And they spend 20 to 30 hours a week managing their marketing, and they're like a small starting business. Like they're not doing $100,000 or more a month in revenue. So they're like a sub 7-figure brand. And so I'm like, they're spending 20 to 30 hours. And I think that's just the overwhelm. And as I talked to them, I'm like, well, let's dive into this. And then we started adding up. I'm like, oh, our ad spend is $3,000 a month. And then we're working with an agency, and the agency charges us, and I don't know if I told you this, Maya, they charge us $4,000 a month to manage our ads. And I'm just wow. okay, you spend $3,000 in ads and you spend
They're bleeding them
$4,000 to
dry.
pay them. And this agency didn't have the integrity to even say like, hey, unless you're spending $20,000 a month, you're never, ever, ever going to break even. And they were running at a 0.5 ROAS after not including the fact that they had to spend $4,000 with the agency. So I think the overall feeling that we see, and in the e-commerce alley and in our group and in our conversations and in our coaching program, the overall feeling is I'm super overwhelmed. I'm doing tons of stuff. And worse, my marketing is not working, or at least I don't know if it's working.
Right, exactly. People don't even know if it's working. And all of that, like for a majority of people who are like struggling with all of this, like this e-com thing is still not a full-time job. This is not the only thing they do. So usually, you're launching your business as a side hustle and then it starts growing and it picks up. And you really want to like make that shift, but you can't because you don't know what to expect, that nothing is predictable. You don't know your revenue. It kind of ebbs and flows. And then you're doing all these things trying to make it work. So imagine on top of 48-hour week, adding another 30 hour of work, and you're investing into stuff that you don't even know, like, is this working or not? So I can totally see why everybody is feeling so burnt out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the average we've learned is that e-commerce businesses will spend, on average, 15 to 20 hours per week. That's the average. The real number, I think, is like 15 point something. I forget what we calculated it down to be. But it's like 15 hours essentially and this is people that are making anywhere from zero to $20,000 or $30,000 a month. And today, what we're going to really hopefully unveil and kind of break down is the fact that, like, if you're doing less than 50,000, in my opinion, if you're doing less than $1 million a year, you don't have to do anything but these two strategies. And we'll even talk through, well, obviously we're going to talk through what those are. We're kind of holding out a little bit here. But we're going to talk through what those are. And then we're also going to talk through the transition, because our hope is that you see the light, that you see that this works. And then we want to talk you through what does it look like to start shifting into this model, because I promise you, we both promise you, like, this model will transform your entire business and it will give you so much more time back. Because once it's in place, on average, you're going to spend 5 hours to 7 hours per week following this framework and implementing both of these things. And so before we get going here, I do want to tell a little bit of a story of how we kind of got to this point, because Maya and I, we've owned a digital marketing agency for so many years, and in owning it for all these years, I mean, we're in year 9. Are we in year 9? I don't remember. It's so far out now. 2013. So yeah, 2013. We're wrapping up year 9 right now. So we were in business. We worked together before that. So we're 9 years into this, and we were what you would call an inbound marketing agency. Like, we literally, and basically, here's what that means. That means if someone calls himself an inbound agency, I've just learned it means that we will do literally anything we can so we have more service sales and retainers, a larger retainer. And what we would do is, like, we did social media, we did email, we did Facebook ads, we did Google ads, we did LinkedIn ads, we did blogging, we did lead magnets, we did sales funnels. We did conversion rate optimization. We did all these things, and SEO. And maybe you can resonate. Maybe you are in that situation right now, and like, you're doing all of those things that I just mentioned, or you're doing some of those. And we used to do this for so many clients. And you know what? Because we were the agency, we would also do it for ourselves, because, right, you have to set the standard. You have to do what you say you believe in order to be really valid, in my opinion. Like, I hate it when people are preaching something and then you go look at their stuff and it's just junk, or they don't do it themselves.
Yeah, they don't do any of it, right?
Yeah, and like, so that was what we did. So we wanted to set the example. So we blogged. Like, how many times were we blogging per week? It was a lot.
Oh God, we had periods where we had like 4 blogs per week. 4
blogs a week. And if you've ever, and that's just not like a blog to throw out there. Like, you're building the creative for the blog. You are doing the SEO research. You are optimizing the blog. You're writing a 600 word or higher, longer blog post. We had some 2,000 word blog
Usually higher
posts.
Because we always wanted our content to be, backed up with a lot of proof, with a lot of screenshots, like actually walking people through how to do whatever the topic was. So these were taking forever.
Yeah, well, and that was just like blogs, and then like then we're sending out, we have our nurturing emails, we're writing and tweaking, and then we're sending out our email campaigns, and then we're running Facebook ads a little bit, and then we're doing crazy amounts of social media. I mean, we did We even segmented social media by network and had different strategies for each one of those. Like we
for
were just,
each. And then to make it even worse, like you do all of this and you feel like, oh, good. Finally, I have, a grasp of all of it. It's somewhat in place. New thing shows up. And it's like, oh my God, we need to be now on TikTok. Like this, we need to research all of this and learn all of this and get there and build a strategy there. And just, it keeps growing.
yeah. I mean, we were posting, I remember the number, it was 12 tweets a day, 8 to 12 tweets a day. And we had tweets going out, and then we would take those and we would curate those for Instagram, and Instagram was a different strategy. And then we had Google Plus. Remember when that was a thing? We had Google Plus.
Oh God, yes.
And then we had LinkedIn, and then we had Facebook, and then we had, we just literally, and then at a certain point, like Periscope came out, and I bought an iPad so that way I could do Periscope because it was only on the iPad at the time. And then Snapchat, we didn't dive super heavy into Snapchat, but like,
luckily not, but like there were attempts.
There's just, because there's so many things you could do. And so we were doing all of this. And just to give you some round numbers, we've run the numbers on this plenty of times. Like we spent in labor, we had about 200 hours in labor, and we had about $9,100 a month that we spent dollars wise, and that's just in-house. So it's not like we outsource. If we would have outsourced that at regular rates of an agency, it would have been way more. But the total services between social media, ads, SEO, blogs, all these different things we were doing, email, etc. We were investing like $9,100 a month just in labor for our business, and that didn't include ad spend. So we're spending over $10,000 a month, and we're a small business. I mean, we're doing like $30,000 or $40,000 a month in revenue, and we're spending literally a third or a fourth of that just on like labor and a little bit on, and then we have ad spend on top of it. So it actually was a little bit more than that. So, I mean, we're spending $9,100 a month on labor. We're spending 200 hours a month between our team in that labor doing the actual implementation of those things. And I just remember I was on vacation, which we learned pretty early on. Like if you don't have this dialed in, and this is another thing, maybe you can feel this pain, like there's no such thing as a vacation without work. Like you could try as hard as you want, but if you don't have the right frameworks and systems in place in your business, you'll be on vacation and everyone else is at the beach and you're on your laptop. Or you're on a road trip like I've been, and you're on a road trip out in Glacier National Park, and you're trying to find Wi-Fi just so that way you can put out fires, so that you could make sure that things are getting approved and things are going out. And I remember the exact location in the exact spot I was in, and we were in. My family and I were on vacation. It was in September. And this is a few years back, and we're on vacation. We're in North Carolina. In Banner, North Carolina, and we're in this beautiful, like, $3 million log cabin, like everything from the outside looking in, Instagram Live, it looks good. Like we're in this gorgeous cabin, our family's having a good time, and everyone's just chilling around the fireplace inside, and we had the views, and we had all the games and arcades, and it was just an amazing time. And we're there, and everyone's having fun, and I'm posting on all my Snapchat, or not my Snapchat, my Instagram stories and everything like that. Like this is such a good time. And I remember sitting down at the table because I had to work every single day because we had to literally stay afloat. And I remember sitting at the end of the table on my laptop, looking at our bank accounts, and we had like $1.06. Legitimate. Like I took a screenshot of it. We had $1.06 in our bank accounts. And we had payroll running that week. And our payroll was like $10,000 between our whole team. And so every other week. So like all of our cash was going out. We had no profit margin. We were burned out. We did what we thought was right, which was, hey, we need to market everywhere. If we're a marketing agency, we need to go do all these different things. And so we did. And it completely annihilated us. All our cash position, right before I had gone on that trip, we had taken out a $25,000 line of credit so that way it was like our banker convinced us, oh, well, you could use this to expand and, whatever. Well, that just all ended up going into labor for our team to do our marketing. And I remember sitting at that table and being like, this is not sustainable. Something has to change. And we had to look inwardly. And I spent the next week analyzing everything we did. I broke down our revenue streams. I broke down all our expenses, and I found out that we had like 2 full-time essential. The hours between everyone that was helping with our own marketing came down to like 2.5 full-time people. So like 2.5 complete people. Now everyone did different hours. We had 12 people on our team at the time, and the hours added up to basically 2.5 hours. Or like 2.5 full-time people essentially, and we were paying that just to do our own marketing. And we're doing $40,000 a month in revenue. 35,000, whatever it was. And just literally wasn't sustainable. And we, unfortunately, it was really sad. We did have to, we let go of like project manager. We had to cut hours. We had to do a lot of different things.
It was a
And
very
so
painful time.
that was like the original Black Plague, Black Friday, you know. That was one of them. You know, we've had a couple of those in our 9 years, unfortunately. But that was kind of the moment
We're
for
still
me.
standing.
That was the moment for me. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, I have $1 in my freaking bank account. I'm 20, mid 20s, whatever. And we're doing like $500,000 a year as a business, and I'm mid 20s. I'm like, this is something that should be awesome. By Instagram standards, everyone looking out, I'm in this beautiful cabin. I'm in North Carolina and completely broke. And our marketing efforts were not leading to where we wanted to go. We weren't growing how we wanted to, and it just all came crashing down. And so that was kind of my moment that I was like, holy crap, we have to change or we're going to die. And so it's a vivid memory for me, but I'm just curious, Maya, like for you, what was that moment that you realized, you know, we have to hone in and we have to become more intentional about our marketing?
Well, we obviously kind of lived through that together because I remember that phone call and that conversation and everything that followed after the $1.06 on our account. But I think that I started kind of like realizing this is wrong. Like we're doing it wrong. There has to be a better way of doing this. When I noticed just how much time is being spent on the projects, on tasks, on mini campaigns, if you want to call them, they were not generating almost anything. So we would work with clients that I loved, and that's one thing of our job that I really, really love, it that we're working with people we love and who love us. And it's always a great relationship, and it's always a long relationship. So when you realize that you're putting all this time and effort into something that's bringing nothing, and a great example is a newsletter where we had a client who was like pushing hours and hours and hours into this newsletter that goes out to like 200 people. And I started thinking like, everything we're doing is in vain. Like there has to be a better way to use the experience and expertise of this incredible team to actually generate results rather than just do things that like check the box. Like, oh yeah, we're on social, we're on this, we're on that. Like, do we have a bottom line here? And then we completely shifted internally. We shifted our strategy to like, we only do things that are measurable. We only do things that show actual impact. And we refocus on doing 2 things only until you get to like 100K mark a month.
So what are those 2 things, Maya?
Those 2 are...
You know, we're 15 minutes into talking here about all the pain. And, you know, we wanted to talk about this first, and here's why. Because I want, if you're listening to this right now, and that's just kind of hitting you in the chest, you know, that's hitting your heart, and you're like, holy crap, like, I feel like I can't breathe sometimes. I feel like I have all these marketing activities that I spend so much time on and they're not producing actual revenue and I'm not growing. If you're feeling that, it's probably because you're not focusing on the high impact, like Maya was saying, the highly impactful, the highly scalable things. And instead, you're focusing a lot of time on things that are more vanity driven, that are more feel-goodery, and they're high resource. And so if you've felt any of that we've felt, and those are real, very tangible moments for us, then you really need to do these 2 things. And so I wanted to preface it with that, but Maya, break it down. What are the 2 things they need to do?
No matter what you read online, no matter what the internet is trying to convince you, the newest craze, the newest platform, the only 2 things you need to do in order to break 100K a month are ads and email. That's it. Ads and email. Sounds very simple. It's not easy, but it's the only thing you need to do to grow to this point. Really streamline your efforts, build frameworks that work, repeatable processes. So once you're actually on vacation, you are on vacation, like, and things keep going. The only 2 things are ads and email.
And I'm going to add, like, to add on top of that a little bit, like, you know, it's not like anyone listening probably, I mean, I'm sure everyone has heard of like the concept of, oh, I should be doing email marketing and I should be running ads. This is the reason these are the most impactful. There's a couple reasons. And the main reason, though, is that they are high impact, low resource. And so meaning they're also very scalable. So if you were to send an email to 100 people, 1,000 people, 100,000, or like some of our clients, 200,000+ people, if you send an email to that many people, it doesn't take 1,000 or 200,000 times more. time. It takes about the same amount of time. Ads are the same. We both just got off a call with one of our clients from New York, and we met with them, and they started. I mean, literally, we took over their ads 7 days ago, and they were starting at like $350. In 7 days, we had them up to $550, and by tomorrow, we're gonna have them up to $700 in ad spend, and that's like literally in 8 days. 8 days, we more than doubled their ad spend, and their ROAS is sitting tracked with a very expensive $1,000 a month tracking tool that we pay for, and it's very accurate. And we're running like 3.77 ROAS, and so very scalable. Very, very scalable. So when we did all our analysis, the funny thing was we went through all of our clients. We worked with dozens and dozens of clients, and we went through all of the efforts, all the blogging, the email, all these different things. And when we dove through all the different tactics and strategies and things we were doing, it all came down to, when we looked at the end of the day, the deals they closed, the orders they received, all came from ads and email. And when I say all, I don't mean literally 100%. We mean like 95% were either ads or email. Like people would come in through an ad, be acquired as a new customer, and then they would buy from email on the back end. And so the reason we decided, as we looked and we saw these trends amongst millions and millions of incoming dollars of revenue between all of our different clients, and the results we were producing for them, it all came down to ads and email. Like, yes, social media and brand awareness and all that stuff is great, but unless you're Coca-Cola, unless you have budgets to just lob, which we don't, we're not even going to do that. We're not going to run for the sake of brand awareness. Like, we're running for the ultimate goal that we want. We want to grow revenue. We want to receive orders. And so
brand awareness is going to follow. And that's a big thing I see as well. Like with people starting out, they think they need to grow brand awareness so they can grow their customer base. It's actually opposite. As you grow your customer base, the number one marketing is and always will be word of mouth. They start talking, they start sharing reviews, they start sharing the product, they start sharing your photos on their social media with your product, and then you start getting brand awareness and brand recognition. You are starting to get like your piece of the pie of the market. Not other way around. Like you cannot get brand awareness without people trusting you to buy your product.
And yeah, absolutely. And even when you're running, that is the funny thing. Like some people are like, well, we need to run brand awareness campaigns on Facebook ads, and then we're gonna retarget those people, and then it's like, dude, you're being way too confusing about that. Like you're just being marketing is way easier than people think. And I know that's probably not fair to say because we live and breathe this, because there are technical, mechanical things of it.
Let's say it's simpler than what people think. Like it doesn't have to be a complicated map of 3 million things that tie in together. Like it can be a simple funnel. It's simple. It's not easy to implement, and it's not easy to stay the course. There's always something shiny attracting you, and somebody's telling you that this is better and you should try this as well. But it's simple. You just need to know the framework, implement that framework, and stay the course.
And I want everyone listening right now to imagine, okay, I want you to, in your mind, bullet point all the things that you're doing right now. Hey, I'm doing Instagram, I'm doing Facebook, I'm doing, social media stuff, I'm doing blogging, I'm doing SEO, I'm doing Facebook ads, I'm doing email, I'm doing SMS. Like, take everything that you're doing. And by the way, I'm not going to discount SMS. It's very powerful. Email is just a more common communication medium, which is why we talk about that. So take a list of everything you're doing and just imagine there's a world where you didn't have to worry about any of that. All the hours you spend planning out your social media posts to get like 42 likes or like 2 likes and no tracked purchases. Imagine if you just didn't have to spend that 5 hours a week making those posts, and all you had to do was hone in on your ads and your email. The most scalable and most predictable things in your business. If you took all your focus and put it into that, it makes such a difference. And there's a book by Greg. How do you say his last name? Greg McKeown?
Yes.
I think McKeown, called Essentialism. If you've never read it, it's a beefy book. I'm going to throw that out there. It's pretty dense, but he really drove home the point. The biggest takeaway that we had from that book is that you can make a millimeter of progress in a million directions, or a million millimeters of progress in one direction. So you can either be really spread out with your marketing, or you could be really, really focused. And if you took all your effort and you put it one advertising channel, we typically recommend Facebook ads, and you put all your attention into email marketing, the most predictable source of back-end revenue, you're going to be able to acquire new customers predictably, you're going to be able to scale predictably, and you're also going to be able to sell them over and over and over and over again, increasing their lifetime value, and then in return, making that initial cost to acquire them as a customer go even further. You can make those ad dollars go a lot further. So these are the two strategies that we recommend. So let's pretend, Maya, that I'm spending 15 hours a week doing social media and blogging, and then I thought it would be a good idea to start a podcast, and then I heard about influencer marketing, and let's say I'm doing like 15 hours worth of stuff, and I'm doing some ads in email or I'm doing none. Like, what would you recommend I do at this point? I already have social media going. I'm posting 7 times a week. What's the path to now, if I decided I love this, I agree with this, I think this philosophy is good, and I want to try this, what would I do next?
So like you said, first you're going to do like a list, inventory of everything you're doing. And honestly, I think people get surprised. Once they sit down and like really think through everything that they're doing, the list is usually much longer than they originally thought.
Yeah.
Because you forget all these little things, and then you're thinking like, I can't believe I'm investing this much time and effort and money into all of this. So once you have like a stock of all your marketing efforts, then what you want to do is you want to put everything that isn't ads and email on what we call maintenance mode. And what that means is you can go like 2 ways about it. You can either stop it altogether, which is what we recommend. Just stop it altogether. Nobody's going to care. The world is not going to collapse. Your social media is going to be okay if you don't post every day or several times per day, like many people do. Or if that's making you uncomfortable, you think that you can't do that, or you have some following that is expecting to hear from you, cut by 80%. Like pull back 80% on everything else you're doing, and then take all that energy, all that focus, all that effort, and all that money, all that investment, and focus it into ads and email. Because you gotta think, like, a lot of times I'll hear, oh, I can't invest in Facebook ads, maybe my budget is too small, or like I'm doing social because that's free. It's not free. It's anything but free. It requires immense time and mental strength and focus, and just you being available all the time to respond to all the messages, and feeling like you're failing when you're posting and investing and creating and then get like 2 likes. That feeling sucks. So you want to take all of that away, cut it by 80%, or stop it altogether, and just really focus on ads and email.
And I'm going to throw something else in there too. So like, if you are even outside of, like Maya said, number one, you need to take stock of your current marketing efforts and list those out. I'm going to add, even outside of marketing efforts, take stock of things that you're doing just because you've always done them, and really beg the question, like, do I have to do this? I'll give you an example. We had a coaching client that we're working with, and she was really struggling. She's getting this off the ground. She still works full time, and so she's only able to work like partially on Fridays, and then she works Saturday and Sunday. She was working Saturdays and Sundays to get her business, her e-com business, really, really growing. And so I remember I was in a conversation. I got on a call with her. I was talking her through some things, and she was just like, well, it's really hard for me because everything I have to do and she's just getting going. So she doesn't have, like, she's not above even the $10,000 a month line in revenue. And her email list is really, really small, like sub 200 people. And she's like, I can't find the time to really do the marketing that I need to do and really get the emails out and like create the ads. And I'm really struggling here. And I was like, well, what are you doing on a marketing standpoint right now? And she listed out her things. She's like, but I cut my social media by 80%. So instead of 7 times, I'm only posting 2 times a week just to keep it active, but not, all invested in it. And I was like, well, what else are you doing? And then I found out she's trying to release 2 new products a week. So she's sourcing.
There you go.
She's doing the research. She's running all the numbers. She's sourcing stuff, and she's literally trying to have she's literally doing new releases every single, like, Tuesday and Thursday, or I'm just giving 2 random days. It could have been like Monday and Thursday, I forget. But it was 2 days a week. She was releasing new products. And I was like, You don't even have 1,000 customers yet, and you're trying to release 2 new. Like, that's a high investment of your time. Like, I love it. I think that you'll get there. It's just not right now. Like, take that time. And I said, how much time does that take you per week to figure out? She's like, well, between all the research, running all the numbers, talking to the suppliers, getting the samples in advance, whatever, the whole process was like more than 5 hours a week just to do that. And then she had to add them to her store. Right. And I'm just like, you're spending of your time. You only have literally like Saturday, Sunday, and you're not even working full days doing that. You're spending 15 to 20 hours a week on the business, and 1/4 of your time is finding new products. Well, why don't we move the products we have with marketing time? And then once those are moving, we start to add new lines in. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's what I need to do. And so I'm going to even go outside of your current marketing efforts. So take stock of what you're doing right now that is, a high resource for you, meaning it takes a lot of time or it takes a lot of money for you to do it. And it's a low impact on your revenue. Like, your goal, when you're sub 1 million, your goal is to get sales. Get sales and make sure the products are good. You refine that process, and then start expanding product lines and go into all these other, fun, visionary focused efforts, because we all have those projects that as entrepreneurs, we're all visionaries. I love tools. So Maya could tell you, I literally blow like $500 a month just trying out different software because I'm a software junkie. Actually, I have a call in an hour with another software for our sales team. So like, everyone has those projects. We all have those things we love to do. But the question is, what is going to drive your business forward in the most impactful way for the least amount of resource? Because that's all marketing it is. All marketing is saying, how can I get the greatest impact for the least resource? And from all our studies, from all our research, and from working with our own clients and doing this for ourselves, we've learned that one paid advertising channel and one email channel will make you $1 million business. It will get you there because you're focused. You've taken all your eggs, you put them in 2 little baskets, and you focus a lot of attention on those baskets, and you hone in on becoming the best that you possibly can do. Best you can possibly be in those 2 things. Meaning you're going to have to go learn some stuff. You're going to have to go learn Facebook advertising or whatever ad platform you decide to go with. You're going to have to go learn email automations, campaigns, and things like that.
Which, by the way, don't forget to join our group, because we teach a bunch of that for free right there in the group.
Yeah. Well, alleypodcast.com/group. Definitely go check that out. So many good things in there. In all of this, the most important thing is that you have good products. If you don't have a good product, no one's going to refer to you and no one's going to buy again. And so this will only go so far if your products suck. This is why drop shipping can become a really big, challenging business to be super sustainable in, because sometimes the products you're shipping, you don't have great quality control over those. And then you start the experience the customer get is not super stellar. The delivery times are often delayed and take a long time. The packaging is not that great. And so really hone in on good product experience, or good products, stellar products, and wonderful customer experience. And if you hone in on those, and then you just stack those with ads and email, and you put all your attention on those 2 marketing strategies, you'll grow faster than you could truly imagine. So before we kind of...
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, Maya, interrupted. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add, I just talked to a really cool guy in our group about his struggles, with his store. And he has a store where he sells cosmetics, and it's like, I can't really, compete. That there's a lot of other websites doing the same, and like, I don't know how to increase my margins. Like, I can't really play with the price. And you touched on experience. Like, an email is a fantastic way to deliver a great experience to your customers if you do it right, and you've really take time to focus on this and invest time in this and think about how can I really blow them out of the water and have them rave about me. Because if you think about brands like Sephora, what Sephora sells, you can buy in many other stores, including Walmart. But people go back to Sephora for the experience they have, including the stores and the marketing, and all of it comes together. And you kind of build your brand and brand advocates through that fantastic experience that you offer. And again, Facebook ads, email marketing, all you need to deliver that.
Yeah, and you're right. They both play a part in that experience. They both play a part, and they play a part in the repurchasing. If they buy products and they like it, and then they see your ads or they see the emails, it all ties together into one big happy marketing family. And so, cool. So here's what I will kind of close out with. So if you've been listening to this and you're like, hey, I love these two things. I do want to try this. First of all, go join our group. It's completely free, alleypodcast.com/group. But if you're also like, hey, I'm willing to invest in this. I would be interested in having you guys actually coach me through this, teach me the systems, teach me the frameworks, and give me the resources to really win with these two things. Then schedule a call with our team, 15-minute call. Go kind of learn a little bit more about how we do this by going to alleypodcast.com/call. And it'll take you to a page which will actually show you how you can work with us, what that kind of looks like, what the investment for you would look like, because it's not free, but it is fair and it will grow your business. So you, my friends, have been listening to the E-Commerce Alley podcast with Josh Coffey, Maya Neidert, and we are the E-Commerce Alley brand. Join our group at alleypodcast.com/group. You'll be glad that you did. And thank you for being our listener and making the world a better place with your products.